Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVito Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich on Friday, December the 9th, the year 2016. And now, here he is, Mr. Fred Belcastro.
When you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, oh, you're laughing. When the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing. Won't you be happy again? When you're smiling, keep on smiling.
Good morning and welcome to the Wealth and Wisdom program. My name is Fred Belcastro, your host, and during the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about using wisdom to grow and protect our wealth. And as usual, well, not as usual, of course, we're broadcasting from the John DeVito Broadcast Center. John is directing the program this morning and keeping me to between the lines on the little oscillator we have there. But it's a little more unusual because of the decorations here at the studio. It's the time of the year is the Christmas time, and the holidays spirit is here just as well as everywhere else, I hope. But nevertheless, you're listening to us this Friday morning at Jack FM 89.7 WRHS out of Norwich. And if I haven't mentioned it before, we're broadcasting from the John DeVito Broadcast Center here on the northwest side of Chicago. Once again, let me give you our phone number for those that would like to give us a call during the week or anytime you have a thought concerning anything that we've talked about or what you'd like to hear discussed on this program. It's area code 630-673-4360. And I enjoy receiving the emails. They're a little bit more extensive than a message or a quick phone conversation. So if you'd prefer to send me an email, that address is fbelsecure@aol.com. FBELSECURE@aol.com. What are we doing? Well, we're talking about a whole bunch of things this morning. But let me remind you that the whole purpose of this program and of my practice over the years has been to help you keep what you work so hard to achieve. I like to talk about getting up at 5 a.m. and shoveling the snow and shoveling your car out of the garage or in the alley or in front of the house and making paths to walk. And you work hard for your money, and that's part of our job is to help you keep what you've worked so hard to achieve. One of the philosophies that we have, and I think a unique philosophy, is that I really and firmly believe that there's more of an opportunity for me to help you, to help our clients by helping them avoid the losses that they face. By that I mean what makes us unique is that we help our clients find the money that they're currently losing, knowingly and unknowingly, bringing that money back to the table so that you could use it in whichever way you choose, either to increase your lifestyle or to warehouse additional dollars to make your retirement a little more comfortable. Always with the idea of providing more cash flow to enjoy. But along that trip, we've got to keep in mind the primary function initially, I believe, is to reduce, eliminate the debt, get rid of some of those transferred dollars that we have. And those of you who have sat and listened to me and have attended some of the workshops I've done through the years, we talk about the 21 different types of transfers that we have. Knowingly or unknowingly, how this money slips through our fingers through one of these 21 transfers. In protection area, we've got the auto insurance, we have disability, homeowners insurance. We also have something to be concerned about is our umbrella policies. And we can't eliminate all the all the various transfers that we spend our money on. One of those that I've never eliminated was, of course, our umbrella policy. When I talk about a model, and I talk about a model quite frequently, because I believe again that the financial words of wisdom is really to provide clarity so that you can create, cultivate, and keep your wealth in a tax efficient manner. One of the things that we've looked at is, of course, the establishment of a model. Everyone has a model. Those that understand it and use it can create and cultivate their wealth. Those that don't know anything about it, don't have a snapshot of their expenses, don't have a model. I'm not saying anything, but those are the individuals that tend to live paycheck to paycheck. But nevertheless, the umbrella of insurance, when we look at our model and we look at the amount of dollars that we have saved or accumulated, either in our 401s or retirement plans, qualified plans, or our savings accounts, it adds up, and our purpose is to grow and prosper, but that all can be taken away with just a lawsuit. And these days today, it's not unusual for families to be sued over and above what their auto liability amounts are, their homeowner's amount. So it's good and it's reassuring, at least for my family, to have my dollars protected with a liability policy over and above what some of the other amounts are. And then, of course, we have the expenses. We have the credit cards, which we'll talk about a little bit later, our mortgages, some with mortgage insurance, educational funding for our family members, and financing cars, and then trading cars. So we're not in the used car business, but many of us keep a car for several years and then trade it in and get a new car and keep that for several more years and get a new car. And you'd like to say, well, how many times are we going to do that in our lifetime? And they say, well, 8 to 10 times during our lifetime. I go, no, that's too much. We don't trade that often. And then when I look at what I've done in the past, and I say, oh, son of a gun, we do trade a lot. And of course, we get the other areas. Of course, our taxes that we pay. But I think it's most appropriate this time of the year that we talk about money. We talk about what I call Christmas cash. Christmas cash. In violation of what I've said over the years, the 4 C's of creating wealth for ourselves. Control. Do we have liquidity, use, and control of all of our money? Do we allow our money to compound? Another one is collateral capacity. Do we have that? Is that where we're warehousing our dollars so that we can do that? And of course, the compounding and the opportunity cost that has to be figured in. We'll talk about that in the next few minutes. But if you look at credit cards today, we can go over to wherever your shopping center is. Here it's the HIP, the Harlem Irving Plazas, is a big one in the town of Norridge, and across the street there's the whole bevy of stores that we could spend our money in. And how do we do it though? Do we just throw it on a credit card? The reports are that many individuals, especially this time of the year, will load up those baskets with all these sales and all put it on a card. And if you look at that balance, and everybody talks about it, but yet nobody does anything about it. Is it like the weather? Is the weather? It seems as though if we're living in a certain region, we don't have much control over. But any one of us can take a pair of scissors to those credit cards that are putting us 18% in debt each time we make a purchase. So I've tongue-in-cheekly talked about buying ourselves a pair of socks and then paying for that $2 pair or $10 pair of socks over the next 20 years because we put it on a credit card, and a credit card that may never get paid off. I did a little bit of math looking at the credit card, a $10,000 balance on a credit card. I don't know how many of you carry that high a balance on a credit card, but a $10,000 balance on a credit card at 18%. with a 5% investment rate. So in other words, the rate of return we can get on our money is 5%. Over a total of 20 years, 40 years, 20 years, we've paid $39,000 of interest, just that alone. If we were able to invest that interest, we would come up with $65,000 additional money in our coffers in just 20 years. That could go a long way towards providing for our children's education, couldn't it? Did we ever, you see, did we ever have the model? Did we ever look at what the amount of dollars are that go through the pipeline? We do that, you know. We get that money in our hands. Remember, I said, we'll earn more than several $1 million in interest over our lifetimes in that 40-year earning period from 25 to 65. And we don't get that money in a lump sum. If we did, maybe we would take better care of it. But we give it in dribs and drabs. We get it every week or every bi-week or once a month. And then we take it and it flows, right? Flows through the tubes. We have our taxes that are taken out automatically, and then we go to our lifestyle, and we might pump some into our savings tanks, but most of it has gone through lifestyle, and when we spend that money, it's gone. Lost forever. Look at the millions of dollars that we spend just living, and of course I'm not saying that we can't do that, but what I'm saying is that look at the amount of dollars that are in your control. $65,000 if we had just taken that money and invested it at 5. That's a tremendous amount of money. But look at it from the guy who issues the credit card. Have you ever wondered why you get so many statements, especially card after card after card? You're approved, you're pre-approved, you get this amount, just their signature, and we could do all of that. I haven't really gone into it, and I've threatened myself to say, you know what, these title loans that we see cropping up in these storefronts, what rate of interest are those? You know, you might be better off going to a racetrack and see if you could borrow some money somewhere, because these people really have you by the, well, it's not a favorable rate of return, I can tell you that, but because at 18%, the potential to these people, these banks that offer these credit cards at 18%, on this $10,000 balance, in 20 years, it's $355,000. This is what they're making on the credit cards in just 20 years. Could you pay for your kids' education with that? Who deserves it more, the banks or your family members? You know, we talk about living paycheck to paycheck. Well, why don't we do something about it? You know what I mean? It's like the wise men said to the smart aleck boys in town. It's pretty much up to you, my friend. It's up to you. But in 40 years, let's take a look. The total interest that we pay is $78,000. I don't like to give these figures, but I'd like to hit somebody between the ears and say, hey, look at this amount of money that's going out in interest. How about if we recaptured some of that? How about if we took back some of that interest? Wow, would we live a little better? Could we afford a condo in Florida? You see, is that something you would like to do? If you just invested that money rather than giving it to the banks, you would have earned $238,000 in 40 years in your lifetime. Would you like to have another $250,000 in your safe tank? No, there it is. Oh, you know why they do it? It's no secret why the lenders, the banks, want to lend us this money at that exorbitant interest rate of 18%, because over a 40-year period, do you know what the potential is to these people? $13 million. That's right, $13,360,557 at 5%, 18% rather. Is that a lot of money? Do you think $13 million would help your situation? Is that what we call financial planning? Is that what we call putting the money, bringing the money to our table? And again, what makes us unique is that we'll work to help you eliminate this. We'll help you eliminate your debt. These are dollars that you're currently losing, without you having to change your current lifestyle one bit. Why does this happen? We talk about words of wisdom. When you establish a model, you're putting it down in front of you, and you're adding clarity. And I talked about clarity maybe about 6-8 months ago on this program, and bringing then clarity to our finances. If we don't have the clarity, then we lack the needed confidence to become financially free. You've got to be able to see what you're doing and know exactly what you're doing and where the money is going before you can do anything at all. I talk from personal experience. Listen, I've been doing this for over 50 years. We talk about 18%. How in the world could I or anyone else suggest alternative investment that on your 401 or on your 403, your retirement or your safe tanks, that's going to beat 18%? You see, you're losing 18%. How much do you want to give me to invest so that you could make up that 18%? Can't. You can't. Where are you going to find a vehicle that'll give you 18% after tax? You see, and yet this is what we're doing. We in order to try to make up the difference, we're taking on what? A lot more risk. Who's at risk? We are. Who's with us? Our family. And why? Why do we lack this confidence to become financially free? Why don't you let me take a break? I'll have a sip of coffee, and maybe we could listen to something a little more pleasant.
And now the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows of my heart. High up in the sky, the little stars climb, always reminding me that we're all part. You wander down the lane and far, far away, leaving me a song that will not die. Love is now the stardust of yesterday, the music of the years gone by. Gone by. Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you when our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. But that was long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of a song beside a garden wall. When the stars were bright, you were in my arms. The nightingale tells his fairy tale of paradise where though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain my stardust melody, a memory of love's refrain.
That was Hoagy Carmichael's Stardust. Now, it wasn't Hoagy Carmichael singing it. It was Billy Ward and the Dominoes. But Carmichael wrote that song and played it, recorded it back in 1927. It's an oldie, but certainly a good one as well. Well, look, what I'm trying to say, what I've been talking about, what you thought was true turned out not to be true, when would you want to know about it? When would you want to find out that something you thought was true turned out not to be true? When would you want to know? I've asked myself through the years, would you really want to know the truth? You know, you bring the truth to some individuals, and no, it's that's not the way it is. That's not so. You know, the numbers somehow don't add up that way. You know, because we've been taught the lack of clarity in our finances. We're easily swayed by the advice of others. And we keep starting over and over and over and never really having a firm foundation of what we may believe in as far as our finances are concerned. All we have to do is pick up the paper, turn on the radio, turn on the TV. We say we could buy these CDs that are going to give us the answer to our investment solutions or problems. We have these free seminars we could sit in and get $400 worth of free software that tells us how we can beat the market and how we can come out ahead with better returns than 3 or 4 or 6 or 8, or how we can earn consistently a 12% return, 15%. How about the books that you'd buy, the videos that go along with them, and the other products, the investments. We talked about the swing and when the clubs, the strategy of investing, the strategy of financial planning, making more sense than just the clubs. We need the products, the products, but the right products fit into your program. How do you know they fit? Have you done an analysis? Do you have a model? How do they fit in the model? Have you looked at the distribution phase as well as the accumulation phase? Many of us that are in the distribution phase now, how do you pick which fund to take the money from the first? The one that's yielding the highest? Do we plot the tax return as well? There's a lot that we shouldn't be easily swayed by the advice of others, just never really having much conviction. Steps to live by, areas that we should give a great deal of consideration without rushing into. Do we take risk without the clarity of that risk? Number one, I would talk about, and I've done this for the last couple of years here on this station. It's hard, next to impossible, to get a positive outcome with wrong assumptions, misinformation, and everyone has an interest in giving out this information because they have a product to sell, or a seminar product, or a book, a video, CDs. It's unbelievable. You don't have to think about it. You could just listen to whatever someone that comes down the pike tells you about it. We do this because we believe it's the right thing to do. But many times it's built on the wrong assumptions. The problems are, though, everything that we believe is true is automatically true in our thinking until it's. I always would hope that it would be a logical conclusion or verified mathematically if it's right thing or a wrong thing, or if it's going to turn out as you anticipate. But we're always given half truths, and it's many times these things are based on these half truths and who suffers. One of the biggest areas is that taxes will be lower when we retire. We've heard that for the last 50 years. Yeah, when I'm 65, I'll be in a. You ready for this? How many times have you heard this? When I'm 65, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. What? You'll be in a lower tax bracket? Yeah, I've got things under control. Here what we're doing is really postponing a lot of the taxes, but what they're not postponing is costs. Costs are going up. Look at your Medicare Part B, whether you have Medicare Part B or not. But Medicare Part B is slated to increase in premiums 7% a year. Did you know that? 7% a year. 2016, we didn't get a raise in Social Security. But don't worry about that 7% increase in Part B. That's going to be deducted from your Social Security payments, whether you like it or not. But why do we accept these erroneous assumptions? We had a client. He's pumping in $16,500, the maximum amount into his 401. He's adding an additional $5,000 to that as a catch up. He has his pension. He's saving money, so that when he retires at age 65 or 66, what do you think his tax break is going to be? Sure, the government allows us. You put as much money into these plans prior to retirement as possible, because you know what it's doing. They know. They know, the government knows where to go to get. I'm not against the government. I'm not saying this, but look at your tax returns. Look what the amount of dollars that you're paying, maybe unnecessarily or unknowingly, and you're just giving it away. Your 401ks. Let me tell you about these retirement plans and how they're viewed by a lot in the government. Your 401k will pay off the debt. How's that? Because take a look at your balance. Is that your balance? Don't forget you postponed all the taxes. What rate are you going to be repaying that debt? Well, I don't know. The government says. They step back, they scratch their head. We're going to see how much money we need down the road. Then we'll tell you. We'll set the gauge. We could. How about an executive order that says all your retirement, your 401k money will be taxed at 35%? Can they do that? Yeah, they can do that. Have they done it in the past? Sure. Executive orders. We've seen the executive orders that come out of the White House. They could do anything they want to. But rather than me crying about it, why don't we listen to some nice tunes? I think some people that say it a little better than I have.
You saw me crying in the chapel. The tears I shed were tears of joy. I know the meaning of contentment. I am happy with the Lord. Just a plain and simple chapel where all good people go to pray. I prayed the Lord that I'll grow stronger as I live from day to day. I searched and I searched, but I couldn't find no way on earth to find peace of mind. Now I'm happy in the chapel where people are of one accord. Yes, we gather in the chapel just to sing and praise the Lord. You'll search and you'll search, but you'll never find no way on earth to find peace of mind. Take your troubles to the chapel. Get down on your knees and pray. Then your burdens will be lighter, and you'll surely find a way.
Well, of course, rather than crying over a radio station, it was crying in the chapel by the Orioles from 1953. Liquidity, here it comes again. Liquidity, use, and control. Do we really control our money? Do we allow our money to compound? And I don't mean for a year or 2 years. It doesn't take off. It doesn't skyrocket until 18, 20 years down the road. Is our money compounding at that length of time? How about the opportunity cost? When we buy something, do we figure what the lost use of that money is costing us? And what's your collateral capacity? How do you pay for things? See, these are things. This is no products. No products are here. No golf clubs have to be bought. You see, just the knowledge of how the money is going to work and how the money works for us. Remember, create your funds, cultivate, and keep your money in tax-efficient manners. Do you know of any? I do. You want to hear about them? Give me a call, 630-673-4360. And the email address is fbelsecure, FBELSECURE, at AOL.com. You know, I didn't get to talk about my spender, saver, wealth creator as I wanted to do it. I didn't get a chance to hold you to the line to see whether or not you were tied to the line, tethered to the line, much as a fish with a hook in his mouth. I don't like to say things like that, but those of you that know me know how against this usury is and how it can devastate people in their finances. And all they have to do, give me a call. Let's straighten it out. Let's get rid of this debt. Let's put ourselves in a position to have zero debt, except for our mortgages, perhaps, and save 20% of our dollars. That's our goal. That's what I use at the conclusion of our workshops. And we add clarity and a model to our finances, you can see how it's all possible. All right, folks, that's it for today. For this week, I enjoyed talking with you this morning. Thanks for those emails and phone calls, keeping us in the right direction. We're happy to do it. We're thankful once again to Mr. John DeVita, who's kept my voice between the lines so that I could at least make some sense. And thanks for listening to the Jack FM 89.7 WRHS, a great group of people dedicated to providing programs like this to you for your listening pleasure. But in the days to come, it's a little cold. If you hadn't shoveled some snow for your neighbors, why don't we look in on those that are maybe a little less fortunate than us? Let's not just do it the last 2 weeks of of December. Let's do it all year, huh? Why don't we go out and make somebody smile? Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, oh, you're laughing. When the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing. Won't you be happy again? When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the world will smile with you.
You have been listening to Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Friday, December the 9th, the year 2016. This broadcast was directed by John DeVita, and our special thanks to radio station manager Kevin Zeflik of WRHS FM Norwich and the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Chikanda. Until next time, please be safe and thanks for listening. Today's broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, Pearl Harbor Day, December the 7th, the year 2016. And this is Jack Frost FM 89.7 WRHS-FM Norwich. Have a safe, warm, and enjoyable weekend. Thank you.